Violent Alert on the north side of the dirt. It's your man D-Real. And y'all see who I got sitting next to me. So and we get ready to have some conversation for sure.
Yeah.
This has been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all started calling me the prophet. I didn't start calling myself the prophet, but I told y'all this was gonna happen. And this is why I'm not overly upset about this. My thought process is more, how much more are you gonna listen to? How much more are you gonna take? How much more has to be done to you? It's like during civil rights times when folks is getting lit, and it's still black people out there like, oh, those white folks ain't got no harm towards that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They want to harm you, and that's the situation we're dealing with right here. And my people are of two minds, and as you know, sir, it can't nobody with a mind going in two different directions get nothing done.
No.
And so collectively, that means we ain't gonna get nothing done until we get on one wavelength, because you got the and it's generational, because it's young people now. There are young people now, Mr. Smith, that don't know who the other T'Challa is. You know what I'm saying? It's like this child is your introduction to T'Challa. Yeah, we saw T'Challa on screen, but we only seen it for one movie, and then he was only in that movie for like, what, 45, 50 minutes out of 2 hours. So, I mean, what else needs to be shown to you? What else needs to be? Oh, it's a mantle. Okay, but
we're gonna get into that.
I ain't seen no Superman movie with 3 different Supermen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did see 3 different Spider-Men, they was all in one movie. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? So you don't do that to anybody else. We didn't make a Miles Morales movie and say Peter's gone. You know what I'm saying? And it's these same talking points that we got to go round and around and around and around. Mr. Smith, I don't know about you. I'm tired of talking. Because we know for a fact Marvel heard us. They responded to letters.
Mm-hmm.
They heard us. So now Kevin Speige's excuse is Ryan Coogler did it. Come on, man. It's your IP. You letting him do whatever he want to do with your IP. So, I mean, he's culpable too, but we can't just go, that's all Ryan Coogler's fault. Because it's not all Ryan Coogler's fault. Ryan Coogler had to be given access to the IP for him to be able to do all these monkey shines that he's doing with him. Now, I realize I have been talking for 3 minutes straight, and I have not given you a chance to say anything, Mr.
That's all right.
But no, I got my coffee. See, I got my coffee. So I got time, and I'm gonna sit back, and I'm gonna turn you loose. OG, get him.
Well, see, you went part of where I wanted to go with the civil rights. Because when we were watching Theo's live last night, someone jumped in and told Theo to let it go. A couple of people did that.
I saw it.
So if D. Stiesel, I don't know who the moderator is tonight, let them come in and let them and let them, get crazy, because I want to address them. Now I can't see the messages, but I'm sure D-Real will put them on screen. But the reason I wanted to go there is because they said they told him to let it go. Right? Told us as
I responded to that.
I know you did. I was watching you. And so my problem is those are the same people who would have said let it go to the civil rights.
Yeah.
Because see, those people didn't have to struggle. They weren't alive during the civil rights. I was. So they don't know what we had to go through to get the rights that we have now that they enjoy, that they take for granted. And see, that's the problem that I have with young folks who come in telling us that we don't matter, that the struggles that we've gone through, what we had to deal with. Like I tell people all the time, I was alive when there was no black superheroes. Think about that. I lived in a world.
Just folks in the jungle.
Yeah. I lived in a world when you saw Tarzan, the only black people you saw, they was bones in their nose and they was hopping around like savages.
Yeah.
That's how they portrayed us. And so this white man was the white knight. He was the lord of the jungle, right? And so those are the same people that would have told Harriet Tubman, let it go. But see, with Harriet Tubman, you know what she would have done? Because she had that pistol on her.
Uh-huh.
So, and you know why she had it, right?
Exactly. She got to take care of herself.
And see, those are the same people who would have told the United States when Pearl Harbor was bombed, let it go.
Let it go.
The same people that would have told Rosa Parks, get up, get to the back of the bus, let it go. Yeah. These are the same people who tell us that boycotts don't work. However, what did Rosa Parks sitting in the front and refusing to move, what did that do? That launched the boycott.
Huge trigger to the civil rights movement.
But it led to the boycott. So what happened was these folks who had all the money and all the power told us, we don't care. And we said, oh, bet. We gonna find other ways to get to and from work and where we need to go. So we started carpooling, started walking, biking, whatever we needed to do. Then they started losing money. And then what did that do? That forced them to come to the table and negotiate and say, you know what? You're right. We're no longer going to have that policy. So that's the problem when people tell us not to boycott and tell us to let it go. You haven't struggled. You don't know what a struggle is. You're too entitled. You have too much Similac still on your breath. You can't tell me anything. You can't. You see, I tell people this all the time when you're younger. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so you can listen twice as much as you talk. Be quiet and let someone, and that's why I love you. I love Theo, because Theo be like, yeah, that's my elder. I listen to him, because there is certain knowledge that is gained through life experience. You know this. And so when I hear these people that come on and tell us to let it go, and you got to child, and we're going to get into that because that really bothers me. But they're trying to tell me that I should be quiet. But young fella, the reason that you have Black Panther in the first place is because of me. Think about that. Because I was alive when that comic came out. I went to the store and I bought that. I still have that comic. Where were you? You weren't even a thought in your daddy's drawers when that comic came out. I'm just gonna be real tonight. I'm not pulling any punches.
I love it.
So you can't tell me that I don't matter. You can't tell me that I don't have a voice to say, hey, wait a minute. This isn't right. What you're doing disrespects not only the character, not only the person who portrayed the character, but people like myself who grew up and saw this character for the very first time and said, you know what? I can envision myself as that person right there. I have somebody that I can emulate, that I can aspire to be, because he represented the best of us. He was intelligent, he was handsome, and he was a king, and he was rich.
Yeah.
He didn't have to take any backseats to anybody. But now we're saying it's just a mantle. Well, I would invite anyone who says that to tell me everybody who's worn the mantle. Don't Google it. Tell me who wore the mantle. And then tell me what comics they were in. And then let me know if you have those comics. And see, so
that.
Before I came on, I did some research, and this blew my mind, D-Real. This blew my mind.
Okay.
Do you know how many times Sherlock Holmes has been portrayed in either live action or television over the years?
More than any other character in fiction next to Dracula.
We're gonna get to Dracula in a minute. I was telling my pastor about
Okay.
that in a minute. But he's been portrayed over 250 times. Over 250 times in live action or TV by 75 different actors. Think about that. They only want to give us one actor as T'Challa. Think about it. Do you see the problem?
Can we do the math? Okay, real quick. What year did we first see Sherlock Holmes in a movie? It was probably silent era, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so
20s or so.
1920s, that's 100 years. So that's average of a Sherlock Holmes every 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been 5 years, more than 5 years since the first Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
But you know what gets my goat is way back in 2020. Make it sound like it's a long time ago. It wasn't a long time ago. Way back in 2020, when people were sitting there with tears in their eyes and was all emotional about, oh, since this, that, and the other, the only word stuck out of my head, icon.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get there. Oh, and I'm glad you said that. He was iconic in the role. Okay.
Does he know the meaning of the word iconic, or was he just throwing big words out there to sound impressive?
Yes.
You got to have a resume to be iconic. You don't come out one performance and go, that was iconic. That's improper. That's not the words you want to use. Great is fantastic, amazing, but not iconic. Okay, Michael Jackson is iconic. Prince is iconic. Madonna is iconic. Is iconic. You got to have a resume. Y'all only got one movie with the true Black Panther in it.
And the reason that they did that was so that they could manipulate emotions and manipulate how people see 1900. Thanks, Kamoyo. How people would respond so that they could get what they wanted. And the reason that they wanted to do that was, as you know, and as Theo knows, and Rock With Me Nation knows, they had been planning to replace Chadwick from the get-go.
Yeah.
And so they
announced it in April of 2018.
Come on now. And so they wanted cheap labor. That's why they just hired this young man to play this role. People better wake up. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he's the best person for the job. He's cheap. That's why they hired these British actors. That's why Tom Holland is playing Spider-Man. See, that's why Letitia Wright is playing Shuri, and that's why they forced her on us in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm still going to call it that.
For never.
Because I'm never going to watch it. I'm not doing it. So it's all about money. And so when people want to talk about, well, they were paying homage to him and they didn't want to, really do him wrong. That's why they, didn't want to recast. No, they didn't want to pay the actor their worth who was going to have to take over that role. That's why they don't want to get a Aldous Hodge. That's why they don't want to get a Lakeith Stanfield. They want to get somebody that they can micromanage and pay paltry sum to take on this role just so that it could be their big break. That's how they got Chris Evans. Chris Evans wasn't making that kind of money. That's how they got Robert Downey Jr. because Robert Downey Jr. had a substance abuse problem. He wasn't getting offers like he wanted, like he would have before he went into prison and went into rehab. So they got him on the low. Yeah. They were lowballing people. They were lowballing Chadwick. That's why he was telling them, no, I'm not going to do that live action on TV. I'm not doing it on Disney. I'm not doing that. They lowballed Letitia Wright, and now they're trying to get rid. But those same people who told us it was just a mantle when they put Letitia Wright in there are now screaming when they're trying to replace, when they're getting ready to replace her.
That part.
So
right there, that part.
Stay consistent. That's why I want all the smoke from these people who want to come in here and try to tell us to get over it. No, keep that same energy. The same energy you had with us before, that you were telling us, get over it. Get over it.
We got a question for you, sir, from Kamoyo King, and he asks, do you think Ryan and Kevin were waiting for Chadwick and Stan to be out of the way?
Stan Lee?
Yeah.
That's a good question, and I would say yes. I would say yes, because you see how they move. You know a tree by the fruit it bears. Mm-hmm. And so you see how they have moved ever since then. And look at, and Theo was the first person I saw do this. He put together the timeline December 8th and December 10th. When Derek Bozeman came out there, Urban Faith Ministries, he came out there and said, the family wants T'Challa recast, and Chadwick would want the character recast. 2 days later,
didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense. That's what that was.
And Kevin Feige 2 days later came out and said, out of respect for the family, T'Challa will not be
So we taking the family out the equation.
Yeah, you just disrespected the family.
And Derek Bozeman also said, when asked, what does he think is going on
when it happened, and what did he say?
And what's happening right now?
He told the playbook.
Okay. Here, let's do it like this. Currently, in comic book continuity, T'Challa is an emperor.
Yeah.
Not an emperor on planet Earth.
He's a
galactic emperor.
Yeah.
And is an emperor of more than one galaxy. Okay, so do you think, honestly, Disney of all people want to make a movie about a black galactic emperor?
No. Have they ever made a movie about Mansa Musa?
I don't think there's ever been a movie.
Oh, that's my point. That's my point.
They're making one now.
Get now.
Yeah.
But how long has Hollywood been? See, and that's the point.
How long has Mansa Musa? When did Mansa Musa die?
Right.
Y'all had all kinds of time.
And so that's it. You have to beware of the narratives that are being manipulated. And that's why I wanted to get to Dracula, because I did some research and I was telling my pastor this before I left work.
Okay.
And you might know this, but for the rest of the Rock With Me Nation,
okay,
Dracula, we know how he's been portrayed in movies, and he's evil and he fears the cross, and you know he's a bloodsucker. He's a villain, right?
Yeah.
Dracula is based on a real person. I know you know that, Vlad the Impaler, right? And so they teach you that Vlad the Impaler was a ruthless dictator, and he was killing people, and he was doing all kind of despicable things to him, to other people,
impaling them on stakes while he ate his lunch.
Here's the real story, though. Vlad the Impaler was a Christian. Vlad the Impaler was fighting Muslims who were trying to overthrow and take over those countries around him. Yes. And I was telling my pastor that when he was younger, he was kidnapped. Him and his brother, Radu, were kidnapped and they were held hostage, because that's what during that time the Muslims were doing. They were kidnapping young boys and then taking them and turning them from being Christian and making them Muslims so that they can help them go kidnap other Christians and repeat the cycle, right? And so during that time, he saw his brother is kind of Jeffrey Epstein is the best way I can put it. That's what happened to his brother. And so he was in his mind, he said, I'm not going out. So he said, no, this is not going to happen in my country. So when he got in charge in his country, he decided, I'm going to fight fire with fire, because the Muslims were impaling people, but they weren't impaling soldiers. They were doing men, women, and children, civilians. He only did soldiers. And what he did was he lined them up. What T'Challa did with the scrolls heads.
Yeah.
He lined them up along the road to let them know, if you come here, this is what's going to happen to you. Right. And so they turned around and left him alone. Now they came back later, but that's the real story. But Hollywood has turned this story, because what happened was Bram Stoker needed a villain for his novel. He didn't know the whole story about Dracula. He only heard bits and pieces. So he
patterned it after a character called Varney the Vampire.
But he used part of that, the Transylvania, all of that. And so now that has become what is the narrative in our minds. But that's not canon. You see what I did there?
Yes, I did.
So now when people see Dracula, their version of him is what Hollywood put out.
Yeah.
Same thing with T'Challa. They are trying to control the narrative and tell you what Black Panther is what we put out, and not stick to canon. And then we have all of these, and I'm going to say it, if you're in here and you're a lurker and this applies to you, it applies to you. Put that shoe on, Cinderfella. You are a first generation walking erect, knuckle dragging Neanderthal if you're trying to tell me that I have to let it go. I'm not doing it. You don't know enough to tell me that. You haven't experienced enough life to tell me that.
I get blacklisted and folks say mean things about me when I tell them don't talk to me the way you wouldn't talk to your father. Okay, exactly. Because I got the information and the knowledge just like your daddy got, but you ain't talking to your daddy like this. I bet you ain't online texting your daddy telling him to let it go. You know what I'm saying? And if I call, and just like Theo said, if I told you to let it go with Bruce Wayne, would you?
No.
If I told you let it go with Peter, would you?
No.
So stop telling me to let it go.
Let's go to Peter, because that's another thing that I wanted to get to, because we all over the place, but I promise you, let's go to Peter.
Time. We only been here 23 minutes. Do your thing, boss.
Let's go to Peter, because what I was watching, what really irked me the other day, I was watching you know how they have those shorts on YouTube, like a minute long, and they were talking about Storm and T'Challa's meeting. They said it was a retcon. Okay, hold on. This is the book. Everybody who don't know,
I have that book.
This is the book.
And that book was made in 1980?
80.
Okay.
Right. Now, this is the book that introduced Storm.
And that book was made in 74.
75. 74, 75.
Yeah.
But let's say 75. Okay. So, you mean to tell me that you have a problem with the story that was written 5 years after Storm was created, that shows Storm and T'Challa meeting? That's only 5 years. Now, everybody who is a comic book head would know that 5 years in real time is not 5 years in comic book time.
It is not.
So that is very close to when she was created. They made a story. Reginald Hudlin did not pull that story out of thin air. That's what people think when they talk about retcon, that it was a retcon story, that Reginald Hudlin pulled that story out of thin air. He made it up just so he could put them together. No, he was faithful to the source material and he expanded on it.
Ding,
but
ding.
See, we can't do that. So the reason I brought that up is because people have a problem with that. But let's go to Peter Parker.
Oh, goodness.
So Giant Size X-Men, as I said, came out in 1975. That's when Aurora was introduced along with Nightcrawler and all these other, right?
Correct.
You know who else was introduced in 1975? I'm going to help you. Ben Reilly.
That is true.
Ben Reilly was introduced
say that? Yes.
in 1975.
Amazing Spider-Man number 149.
And I have that. So
got two Spider-Men on the cover fighting. Ned Lee's hanging from some dynamite and the Jackal's looking down on him.
Right. So let's do this. So now about 30 years later, 30 years later, it was 1975. No, it's 20 years later. It was 20 years later, 1995. Marvel came in and told you that the clone was Peter and Peter was the clone. That's 20 years later. And to solidify what they were doing, you know what they did? They had Reed Richards say, yep, that's what happened. This is because they were trying to manipulate it and put Peter and Mary Jane out in Portland, Oregon, let them go off, and then let Ben Reilly take over. That was the plan. They were going to have Ben Reilly be the original Spider-Man. And I remember going into my LCS, because I was collecting Spider-Man at the time. I had that as my pool. And as I was checking out, the guy, his name was Chuck. I told him, I
fell victim to maximum clonage.
Yeah, I told him, I said, this won't last 6 months. He said, really? I said, no. I said, because what this does is invalidate everything from issue 149 on. He said, really? I said, yes. He said, okay. It didn't take 6 months. They switched it. Why? Why am I bringing that up? Because they did a story 20 years apart. We had a story 5 years. Nobody's talking about that retcon that they did. Nobody did. Nobody's talking about retcons with that. But what happened was the voice of the fan said, we don't like this story. Change it. Because their sales started dropping. Go back and look. Their sales started dropping. It was
tell me, I stopped buying Spider-Man.
So what was that? That was a boycott. Spider-Man's fans boycotted Marvel and said, we're not buying this, literally and figuratively. We don't buy this. Either fix it or we're not coming back. So Marvel caved because their sales were dropping. And they said, you know what? We about to do, psych. But you said you had Reed Richards come in and co-sign this. Maybe they should have had T'Challa do it because T'Challa wouldn't have gotten fooled. I'm just saying. So we have people who don't know this history trying to tell us, let it go.
Yeah.
Dude, do your research before you come to me. Because I'm not the one. I'm going to educate you and I'm going to break you down and I'm not going to be nice when I do it. Because if you come to me with ignorance, that's one thing. When you come to me and you willfully stupid and you don't want to learn anything, like you know everything, dude, I don't have time for you.
I give you a prime example of that. Before I got on, I was on Facebook and I was on this site and they had, I don't know, did you watch Titans?
Some of it.
Okay, did you get a chance to see the actress named Connor Leslie as Donna Troy?
Yes.
Okay, and the costume and that, she was practically 1 for 1. Now, somebody comes in the comments because it was somebody had said this is the first comic accurate version of Donna Troy Wonder Girl. Okay. This is how people don't pay attention. All they saw was Wonder Girl. Now, I applaud this man for his research, but it was poorly done. He said Deborah Winger. Yeah, right. Said Deborah Winger was the first actress to play Wonder Girl, and technically he's correct, but he's not correct because that Wonder Girl's name was Drusilla.
Drusilla.
Not Donna Troy. So that's not the same Wonder Girl.
Nope.
Much in the same way. This is what we dealing with. This is T'Challa, and this is what the kids is on Instagram, and this is T'Challa. What they told you is T'Challa. It's T'Challa. Are you stupid? They just said it's the. Calm down, young man. Calm down. Take a breath and listen to what I'm saying to you. Okay. What you're excited about is a T'Challa, a manufactured one. And that one that does not exist in any other canon, but this one that Ryan.
We're gonna get there.
So you are looking at the Black Panther through a periscope. You need to take your periscope down and sail over here to the island. And see what we really got over here. But nobody to see that because this is what I was told this morning by somebody. Because we were talking about movies, and he said he didn't like the new Masters of the Universe movie. And that's your opinion. I liked it. I thought it was good. And he said he liked Mortal Kombat 2. Now, I told him, you do understand both of those movies are considered quote unquote commercial flops. Okay, as far as the money's concerned. Right. But all I hear whenever I mention Mortal Kombat 2 to anybody, I loved it. It was great. It was great. Okay. So why the crappy numbers? People are not going to the movie theaters in past, whether it be because they just don't want to or it's not financially feasible anymore. And I can watch it on streaming in a month, so I'll just wait. And that's what most people do now. So I don't think box office is a good measurement of how good or bad a movie is. But you can have terrible movies. Like they will kill you. I saw that movie on HBO, and I'm glad I saw it on HBO because if I paid money for that movie, I'd have been mad. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say all of that to say they can just cram whatever they want down these young consumers' throats. And they will consume it. They will consume it. And how can they tell me about canon when the canon that they bank on, believe in, has no foundation? It has no basis. It's like, okay, so if we tie to Eyes of Wakanda and if we do this and that, why you got to do all of that? The canon should stand by itself. You don't have to do 10, 11, 13, 20 things for MCU Tony and his story to make sense. You got to make cartoons and side shows. You don't got to do all of that to define Tony or Thor or Steve. You don't got to do none of that. But for some reason, you got to piecemeal everything together with T'Challa because it's a mantle. Okay, it's a bunch of superheroes that have mantles, but you ain't punked out on them and said, okay, I give up. We just going to use a new guy. All right, James Rose stood in for Iron Man. That's canon.
The Phantom is a mantle.
But what y'all took out was he stood in for James Rose because Tony Stark was a blithering alcoholic at the time and could not be Iron Man. He was actually causing problems when he put the suit on and was hurt. And you know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, you don't need to be in a suit of armor. And to keep and even after James Rose became Iron Man, he was still an alky. You know what I'm saying? He was still drinking. So it's like, all right, we don't want to depict none of that. We just give you one scene in Iron Man 2. Alcoholic, because we don't want to tell.
They don't want to do the demon in the bottle storyline.
Because that would have been the whole movie right there.
Yep.
You wouldn't have had no robots and
No.
Whiplash and all of that stuff. You messed up anyway. But
But see, the problem with that was, and I like what you talked about with Iron Man, and he was drunk and was causing problems, and it was like he was driving drunk. It's like a drunk driver.
yes, he was in that
That's
suit
what.
behind the wheel. Drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was causing problems.
Yes, he
And
was.
see, that to your point about how they are manipulating and controlling what is put out there, and people are consuming it and taking it as facts. And that's the problem that I have with these folks, because you don't know, and you're too lazy. You're too lazy to go read. You're too lazy to go ask someone, because that means that you don't know it all. So you got to have this persona that you know it all. And you don't need to ask. And you don't need to have someone show you what the truth is. So you have to come on into other people's lives and act belligerent and act ignorant, and you just show out because you can't be wrong. The disconnect is real. And that's the problem that I'm having with these folks who are, up in arms and like, yay, we got a new T'Challa. No, you don't. And here's the problem. Here's the problem that people don't understand. The reason, another reason why Ryan Coogler is doing this is because T'Challa is his creation. He gets a creator fee for that. You don't know that?
He commandeered the IP completely because where in your phases does Wakanda Forever go? Where does it tie in? What does it connect to? What is it connected to? Was there did the end scene credit in Wakanda Forever have anything to do with the greater universe?
No.
Or just that one raggedy movie?
Yeah. And see, like I said, I refuse to watch it, but it's because you again, you have to look at the money aspect. So since he created that character, he's getting paid because of that character. And so now he's going to try to push that character so that he can get paid for it. That's how this works. That's why when people talk about, and I want to scream every time I see you do a video, when you're trying to explain to these knotheads about a 1-for-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't do a 1-for-1 because then you have to pay the writers, you moron.
Ding, ding.
That's why they don't do a complete 1-for-1.
Yes.
If you get out of your own way and do some research or actually listen to somebody who actually knows how this stuff works, then you would know that's why they don't do a complete 1-for-1. God, please stop with that.
Yeah.
Do some research. So I just hate it when I have to try to talk to people and explain to them that we can't just accept what they give us. You can't settle.
It's strange that you should say that. That brings up a question I have.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is this. Well, let me set it up like this. Okay. You are familiar with the Lone Ranger.
Yes.
Okay? You know the history of the Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
You know how bogus it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how long it remained in European American society. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is they had Lone Ranger TV series. I forget how long that thing ran, but it ran
more.
And Jay Silverhill
mm-hmm.
ran forever, ever. That show ran forever, ever. Then late 70s, early 80s, I want to say, they made a movie.
Yep.
And it was bad. It was a colossal flop.
It was bad.
And they made it again with Johnny Depp recently.
Yep. As Tonto.
And that flopped.
Yeah.
So my question is, are there some franchises, no matter what you do, you aren't going to be able to get a respectable version for whatever reason, director, and because what I'm being told is a lot of the stuff me and you grew up on is passe, it's gone, it's blah. It's time for it to move over and let these young bucks do their thing, and let's start making, you know, Lunella Lafayette movies, and you know what I'm saying? They let these new Jack heroes and all of that, let them get the shine and all of that, and just let us go sit down and retire and sit on the porch in a rocking chair or some crap.
No, I think the problem is
that happen, or should we be like, nah, I deserve to have a movie about my stuff too?
Yeah, I deserve to have a movie about my stuff because, as you well know, Lone Ranger is based on Bass Reeves.
Yes, I do.
And see, and a lot of people are fighting that because they don't want to admit that their white icon is based on a black man. So everywhere you
whitewashed him.
Everywhere you go on YouTube, you go anywhere, and you mention that, they have a fit. They no, dude, it was based on Bass Reeves, right down to the white horse, dude, right down to the Native American sidekick, right down to him going in disguises to get criminals.
Exactly.
Everything, it was him. So
that was too brilliant to be a white man.
So the problem is you don't have people who respect the source material, a la Ryan Coogler. I'm gonna call him Lion.
Lion Coogler.
So if you don't respect the source material, people tap out. So when they came with that Johnny Depp as Tonto, I was out. I was like, no, get a Native American to play that role.
He's got a quarter in him.
Okay, we put that quarter in his butt and let him go be happy somewhere. I mean, no. Let's have some truth and some authenticity, because what the problem that we're having is we're seeing that America is really diverse, but what's happening is people don't want to celebrate that diversity. As you well know, the political spectrum that we're having to deal with right now is the diversity, that DEI is a problem. So we can't have that. So you got to have, every hero has to be a white hero. It's the white knight syndrome. And there's nothing wrong. Like, for example, Captain America should be a white guy. That should be Steve Rogers. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Let's not have an argument with that. Why we got to even debate that? And Superman is a man. It's Superman. You know, he's not questioning his sexual preference. You know, let's just stick with what is, and let's not try to make it what we want it to be. But let's do it right. And if you want a hero to be whatever, create your own hero. Why is Iceman gay?
Bruh,
who thought that was a good idea?
That and so many other reasons. And it's not because nobody's homophobic.
No.
It's because
the character.
The character been around since 1963. I done seen him with 4 Fire Girls. So
he was with Polaris.
Maybe he didn't know what he was.
No, he knew.
And that's what I'm saying. So, and then you put him on TV.
Yeah.
You put him on TV, and you made me watch him every Saturday morning.
Yes.
So
yes.
That
Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
That would be the equivalent for me. That would be the equivalent of James Evans saying, "I'm gay."
Yeah.
I just knew everything that you put towards him and how you depicted him, and it's just a whole 180-degree turnaround with no kind of explanation. How you know Iceman ain't somebody's favorite superhero, somebody's favorite mutant, and now because of what you've done, and I'm not judging one way or the other. I'm just saying
now they check out.
If you wanted a gay mutant in the X-Men, guess what you could have did?
North Star.
You know what I'm saying? You could have made one. You could have made two. You know what I'm saying? Why all of a sudden we just stop being creative when it comes to things like telling those kinds of stories? If y'all wanted to kill off a character, at least give them the decency, the respect that you gave all of your other white characters, and give them at least a 3-movie story arc exclusively for that character. Because what you're saying right now is we should have had 9 Black Panther movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We should have had 3 for T'Challa, 3 for Shuri. And since y'all insist, go on and give this young buck 3 too. But at least if you giving him 3 and his daddy would have had 3 first, I wouldn't have been so salty about it. But you just cut him off after 1 and then tried to explain it all, and then had people telling us, oh, we misogynists and me misogynoir and all that kind of BS. No. Because we want to see the character we like. If you was turning Selena Kyle into Batman, and everybody was like, yay! But the Batman purists was like, we don't like that crap.
Right.
Y'all are misogynists. You just don't want to see Selena grow. No, it ain't I don't want to see Selena grow. Why can't Selena be Batman over here in the corner like she was in the Silver Age after she got married off? You know what I'm saying? To Bruce Wayne and all of that. Do that, but don't take the established character and say this ain't what he is no more. Because look at the narrative and the division that has been created amongst just the fans.
And see what they could have done with their young man, and what they should have done was, to your point, they should have been 3 movies with T'Challa, and T'Challa should have met Storm. And what he should be Azari. That's who he should be. So because
I'd be cool with the daughter, it wouldn't make no difference as long as it was a kid.
So the problem is that you have these people who keep trying to tell you that this is the best way to do this. No, it was not the best way, because every other time when an actor either aged out of a role or they died, someone filled that role, especially if it was an iconic a role. In Black Panther is iconic because he was the first Black superhero of a major company. So it's no differently than if you have Spider-Man. You had live action Spider-Man. I remember watching this, Nicholas Hammond.
Oh yeah.
You know, and how funky that was.
I don't know who was in the spider suit, but that guy was skinny.
Yeah. He was. He needed a few Happy Meals or something.
He was skinny.
But you still see from that point on, from the 70s on, you still have Spider-Man. Live action. Right? Batman.
Now, I noticed they took the power and responsibility out of the Nicholas Hammond show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, only time.
So,
but you still had Peter. You still had the radioactive spider. You'll always have Peter. You'll always have the radioactive spider.
And you always have J. Jonah Jameson. So why can't we not have that with T'Challa? It's because they're trying to control the narrative, and because they don't want you to look at yourself the way that you should. They don't want Black men to aspire to a level that they don't want you to get to. That's why you have the term uppity Negro. That's not what they don't say Negro. You know what they say.
Yeah.
And that
hard R.
Right. That uppity came specifically for that. It was for no other race, no other group of people. Uppity ends came because we were elevating ourselves. Exactly.
I've said that many times.
Yeah. But see, but it's also what Bruce Lee said when he was in was actually his mentor told him in Enter the Dragon. Remember?
Yeah.
If you break the image,
it has images and illusions.
Illusions, right? Yeah. That's all the enemy has: images and illusions. If you break the image, you'll destroy The enemy. And so that's what we're trying to do. But people have to either get on board or get out of the way. Because
and that's something else I wanted to say too. I know like a lot of you don't frequent X.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't. Well, I tell you right now, you ain't missing nothing because all that's going on is bitching, bickering, arguing, name calling. That's all people say. I call it the fight to be right. That's all that's going on X.
I got to be right.
And it's a lot. They don't want to teach. They want to demean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, if you are trying to dispense knowledge about the character, okay, do you get more bees with honey or vinegar?
Vinegar. My mom used to say that all the time.
If I call you out of your name, if I call you a a-hole and then turn around and say, take this knowledge that I'm giving you,
you're not listening.
I'm not going to take the knowledge. Stop calling me an a-hole first. Come from a place of where you are really genuinely wanting to dispense that knowledge to people.
Right.
And I say that to every single last
listening.
one of you. I seen a couple. They ain't here. They dipped in, dipped out. Okay. And this is all I'm saying, man. If you're going to teach in love, man.
Yep.
Don't teach in hate because nobody receives that shit. Nobody receives it if you calling me out of my name or you telling me how dumb I am or you telling me how ignorant I am. State your case, state the facts.
Right.
That's it. You don't need to do anything else and have these long 20-minute arguments with people. And well, your mother's how did we get on that? We was on Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they get sidetracked over there. So that's why like what I said, I'll be reducing my footprint over there. I'm not other than to let people know I'm going live here. I ain't really too much on there. I might drop a comment here and there, but for the most part, I'm not fooling with that because all that does is create more chaos amongst the nation, amongst the people who say, okay, we all walk in lockstep. Some of us walk in lockstep, but some of us, you know how in the military when you get off, you got skip to get back. You got they doing that skip step to get back in, and some of them ain't catching up. So it's like I don't know what to tell you. And who was it said we can't take all of them with us.
Yeah, can't take all of them.
Some of them we gotta leave behind.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because they refuse to receive the information in its purest form. Yeah. And that's all me and Theo try to do is give it to people in its purest form, filter out all that BS and tell you this is what it is based on the source material, based on the canon, based on the people who created it. This is what it is. Now, you're telling me, okay, we're going to make a movie. In fact, we're going to make 2 movies. And we ain't going to base it on none of that.
Nothing. And see, here's a problem. When you have people who are trying to, going back to what I said about Bram Stoker and Dracula, they want to make a movie, but they don't have the full story. Right? So they're making it what they want it to be, and they're being lazy. They don't want to do the work that's necessary to make a proper movie. If they did the work that was necessary, they would know that neither Chadwick nor the fictional character T'Challa would approve of a bastard child. They would know that. But to hear them tell it, Chadwick was their best friend. They were boo-hooing and all this other stuff, but you're sitting here, you're telling on yourself when you do this narrative. I promise you, I was telling my pastor when we were leaving work, I said, Chadwick Boseman hated stereotypes for Black men. Hated it. That's why he got fired as Reggie Hammond from All My Children, and Michael B. Jordan took his place. Because he did not like, did you know that?
I did not.
Yes. He originated the role Reggie Hammond on All My Children, and so he went. They loved how he did the role. They loved him, and they told him, you know what? If you have any questions, come and ask us, we have an open door policy. So he took them up on their offer. He said, okay, where's his father? We don't know. Clearly he's not in the picture. Okay, where's his mother? She's on heroin. She's doped out. What are you asking these questions? They started not understanding because he didn't want to play the role as a stereotype. So he asked them, can we make him good at something? Can we make him good at math? Those are interesting questions. We'll get back to you. Let us know. Then they fired him and replaced him with Michael B. Jordan. For all of the people who keep saying, oh, you can't replace him, you can't recast. Michael B. Jordan was recast in a role that Chadwick Boseman originated. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's past cognitive dissonance. You just don't know. And you don't know that you don't know, and you don't care that you don't know. And so when somebody tries to tell you that, then you say, oh, it doesn't matter. But it mattered just a minute ago when you was trying to argue that point. So see, I am a skilled debater because I, debate other religions. But, so I take what you say and I use your own argument against you because I have facts that's going to come in after the fact when I want to hear your point of view and I want you to state it clearly and succinctly. I'm going to give you all the time in the world because I'm going to listen to you. I might even take notes. And then I'm going to regurgitate what you said to make sure that I heard what you said. And then I'm going to use other facts to contradict what you just said. And then now you're stuck. And you don't know which way to turn because now I've just overridden what you've been programmed to think. And so we can't sit here and say that no one could replace Chadwick Boseman when we've already had it done. That's a fallacy. You have had your emotions manipulated and controlled by Geppetto, your Pinocchio. He's just manipulating you and making you feel however they want you to feel so that they can control the narrative. And you're going along with the okie doke. I can't remember because it's been so long since I seen The Matrix. Which was the pill that they had to take to wake up? Was it the blue pill? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So you don't want to take that pill. You don't want to wake up. You want to stay stuck in the matrix. And if that's what you want to do, don't come over here telling me I need to stay stuck in the matrix because I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to make it out. And so when we're trying to tell you that there's a better way, that you could have done this, you put it out there years ago. Theo put it out there years ago, and people just ignored you. We told you, the Rock With Me Nation told you how to make this franchise successful.
Well, you know what happened? What happened, and they might be in here right now. Other content providers
told them something else.
Other social media pages, and if I'm lying, I invite any one of them to come here.
They ain't coming in here
and debate me. Took the talking points and narratives with regard to recast T'Challa and all of that me and Theo put out there, and I ain't got no problem with you taking that narrative. I never had no problem with debate taking that. What I had a problem with was taking a narrative and making it sound like you was the originator.
Yeah, don't do that.
That you are the original person for that idea. And I'm like, I ain't gotta plagiarize to be. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say, and I'll say what I want to say.
Right.
And I always tell everybody, in the fullness of time, we will figure out who was right or who was wrong. Because I gotta sit around and argue with you about it. That's what I don't get. It's like, if I don't say things because I think it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what I'm telling you because I think it's a fact or it might be correct. And if I am, I'm going to say that.
Right. But you're going to do the research.
I might not be 100% certain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I know, I'm not trying to argue with you about it. If I put this lighter in your hand, and you close your hand up, and I ask you if that lighter's in your hand, do you have to open up your hand to look and see if the lighter's still in there? No, you can feel the lighter in your hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't have to explain myself every time I drop knowledge. If you think something I'm saying ain't accurate, y'all got Chat GPT, y'all got Perplexity, y'all got Google, y'all got Bixby. Go ask all of that stuff if what I'm saying. Because apparently, if you do Chat GPT and mention my name, quite a bit of stuff comes up with regard to Black Panther. So I'm like, well, gee, did I do that? I didn't make that up. Chat GPT said that. So if Chat GPT said it, then I guess that's what I'm doing, huh?
You see, and that's the problem. Again, what you were talking about, what's going on over on X, is the fight to be right. And so instead of being accurate, is what Theo says. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being accurate. And what we're trying to do is hold their feet accountable to being accurate with the character, because it is our favorite character, and so it's no different than when the Snyderverse fans lost their mind. Lost their mind. I give the latest Star Wars movies. Them Star Wars heads hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like, no, we don't want that. No, you got to do something. You got to fix this.
Yeah, that's not Star Wars.
No, so when we speak up, we got people that look like us telling us to be quiet. That's the darndest thing to me.
Imagine that.
And so I'm looking at it, and I was talking about the clone of Spider-Man and how it took them 20 years, and then they did a retcon. But the other one, and I've said this before, the other one that nobody says two things about, and they even had it on TV, Jessica Jones.
Huh.
Luke Cage was created in 1972. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all.
My man.
Because see, I bring receipts. 1972.
Yep.
Jessica Jones was created in 2001. How many years is that? Like 30, 40 years?
Close. Yeah.
So she was created specifically to be a retcon so that she could get with Luke Cage. That was Brian Michael Bendis' plan from the beginning, to get her married and have his baby. That's why she was created. Period. But you have a problem with Storm and T'Challa being together? Now she came in having a baby. We can't. Storm and T'Challa ain't had one yet.
That part.
So this is what I'm saying. If you don't know the argument that you're trying to further in advance, you might want to tap out and do some research before you come trying to engage with someone who has far more knowledge than you do. Because it's like, and you know this because you take martial arts, it's like going into a studio and challenging the sensei in there, and you just coming off the street.
I've actually seen people do that, but I've actually seen the result too.
Yes. Yes. It's funny. It's all over YouTube. It's all over YouTube. People storming. There was one who stormed the boxing gym. There was a couple of them that stormed the boxing gym. One guy came in there and got in the ring with the instructor, and he was lighting him up, because he was talking
I saw one dude. It was straight out of a movie, man. It was like a little dude looked like Popeye. You know what I'm saying? He was little. He like about 5'2", and he had that Jack Dempsey style where he had his gloves like that, and the dude had a man bun, and he was feeling good about his stuff, man. And my man didn't throw nothing at him but looping overhands. Hit him in his head, and that man bun fell out. Yeah, hit him again. Dude fell down. He got back up. Dude was waiting for me. So I'm like, man, that little old man tearing him up. So
Mhm.
like, yeah, don't count him out.
No,
Don't count him out. It's muscle memory. It's muscle
right,
memory.
right.
Just to remember something up here,
Mhm.
remember how to do something in your body. Trust.
Right, right. And see, that's what we're trying to tell these young bucks: don't come for us because you don't have the muscle memory that we do. You don't
Right.
know what you're talking about. So what we're trying to tell you is, listen, just take this knowledge, and you don't have to agree with it, but the point is, it's facts. It's canon. And like I said before, it was 5 years after Storm was created, the writer decided to make a backstory in Giant Size, in Marvel Team Up 100 with T'Challa and Storm that they met during his walkabout.
Right.
Now they're both in Africa, so that makes sense that they would meet because she was a street urchin. She was on the streets, a pickpocket. So she was, moving all over the place. So it kind of makes sense. And so then Reginald Hudlin built on that. So that's when I like stories that build on something from before. Something that's can. For example, like I told Eve Ewing, why have we not gotten how Cardiac got his vibranium mesh skin?
Bruh, I was thinking about that the other day.
What?
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like,
What is that story?
How much vibranium costs?
Yes. How did he get it?
And he got a whole body full of it.
How?
He a doctor, but do doctors got money like that?
No, he don't.
Because what is it like? What 20,000 an ounce?
Ounce? Yes.
Yeah, you ain't. No, I know, and you got to get enough to cover your whole
your
skin.
whole body.
Not to mention whatever the process is to convert it from raw vibranium to something you can use as skin.
And you have to have somebody do the operation because you can't operate on yourself. So who did the operation?
That'd be a good story to tell.
Exactly. So it's about building, and it's like when I was telling Theo, the Panther's quest.
Uh-huh.
It makes more sense that Shuri came from that because he was SA and Ramon. He was SA and Ramon the entire time, every day.
Yes,
every day. So if you wanted to bring Shuri into the Panther lore, it should have been through that, and then she should have had that would explain her wanting to prove herself and to always trying to one up T'Challa, and him. It would also explain why they say that she's so smart because he would kind of like with Mr. Terrific. Yeah, I'm the third smartest. Yeah, he probably the smartest, but he downplaying it.
Yeah.
To make everybody else feel better. So so T'Challa wouldn't care because he wants her to feel included and not ostracized. So he's like, yeah, my sister is really smart. But we know who the smart one is. But they don't. But instead of doing that, instead of building on what was there, they retconned it. Now you want to talk about a retcon? Shuri is a retcon. Y'all don't talk about that.
Big time. She is big time a retcon. She is literally the definition of retcon.
There was no Shuri in Fantastic Four 52, Avengers 52, all the way up. She was nowhere around there.
There wasn't no Shuri in nothing that came out in the 20th century.
No, she's a 21st century product. So
none at all.
But you want to talk about a retcon that happened from a story that was only 5 years from the creation of the
It's cherry picking. It's cherry picking. Because that's how the man they look up to for their Black Panther lore likes to do it. He cherry picks and traumatizes. That's his go-to. That's all he's got in his bag.
That's it.
I'm gonna take somebody else's work and I'm gonna prove it, and then I'm gonna kill a few people off, and that's a movie.
Yeah, and I just I can't stand it. So I also did like there's been 11 actors who played Superman, but that's not okay. Okay, there have been 20 actors have played Tarzan. 9 actors have played Batman, but you only want to give me one to play T'Challa.
I told you, man, because he's an emperor. And if you give me my emperor on screen, eventually I want to see my emperor's empire. And they don't want to depict that because nobody in Marvel Comics arguably has anything grander.
No, and so what they
you gotta go Shi'ar. You gotta go Kree. You know what I'm saying? If you want to even come close to what he's got.
right,
And they can't do that because it have to be something green or blue.
but what they need to do then is take a page out of the Star Wars book, and then they could have a galactic war. He brought black market vibranium for the Vanisher's criminal network. Okay, how did the Vanisher get it? Without T'Challa knowing it, and without
What's the process? I still want to know what's the process for making vibranium.
and what book was that in? See, this is what I'm saying. They have never fleshed that out. See, you have to have the war dogs not know about it. You see, yeah, but how do you do that? You know what I'm saying?
He did surgery on
Right.
I've been dead. Okay. And
I'm gonna knock myself
the
out.
crazy part is I have that book.
You
I
know,
had the first appearance of Kodiak.
I do too.
It's during Eric Larson's run.
Right.
Yeah.
And he became an interesting character. He became one of my favorite, like a C-list character.
Well, when he took the mask off and I seen it was a brother, I'm
But
like,
yeah, I was like, yep.
okay, okay.
Because again, it goes back to what we're talking about. We didn't have enough of those. We did not have enough black heroes.
Another retcon. Well,
See?
you imagine that? See, that retcon got by me. I you know what I'm saying? Maybe I didn't pick that up.
Now I know I haven't picked that up. Okay, so if they did a retcon, why didn't T'Challa know about it? Why wouldn't the War Dogs have gone after the Vanisher? Why wouldn't Hunter have gone after the Vanisher?
Because it's a poor retcon.
Yeah, exactly. you have to make this stuff make sense. If T'Challa is going to make all of the vibranium inert so that Dr. Doom can't get it, he don't know about vibranium that's missing and somebody got it and he's not going to go.
What happened to Cardiac?
Yeah.
When T'Challa made all the vibranium inert.
Exactly. These are things.
Right there. Go ahead to retcon that too.
Yeah. These are questions that people who, like you and I, we know the source material, but these folks, they just put anything out there because they're too lazy to do the work and they just put a story out. They just put Word of Wakanda retcon, let's just make it where he operated on himself. How, Sway?
I guess, okay, I'm not above saying, all right, maybe there's an apparatus in the Marvel universe somewhere where you can lay down on an operating table and it'll do the operating for you. I mean, we got a weapon that'll wipe out Galactus, so surely we can make an apparatus that puts skin on a mug. But I want to know that process.
But here's the problem with that, though. If they did it for him, why wouldn't they do it for somebody else?
Because it hurts, maybe.
See, you have to make up excuses. You see what I'm saying? It's not making sense. So the best way for that to happen is if T'Challa was okay with it and he helped facilitate it.
So Eve showed you a Wakanda.
Yeah, right. She did, but not to that extent. And so if you have what I would like to have seen, and that's a great point. I would like to have seen that.
Why would because they're criminals.
Right.
My thought process is why would Wakanda experiment on other Wakandans?
I mean, but see,
you have to ask Ta-Nehisi Coates because he the one created all of this infighting. With Zinzi and Tetu and all of that, and we mad and we pissed off because no matter what T'Challa do, he just ain't keeping the people happy, and it's always somebody mad at him in Wakanda.
It's the stupidest thing ever. But here's the problem: how does Elias Wortham get to Wakanda or get the connections to get the vibranium? He's not connected. He wasn't connected like that.
You know what?
Anybody would have been a kingpin. If you're going to go that route, it would have been a kingpin.
And I don't think the kingpin want to be trying to take nothing from T'Challa.
Not again, because he already put hands on him. Like, yeah, you want to? I'm not Spider-Man.
He said, "I'm gonna come see you, and I ain't gonna.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up, and this ain't gonna go the way you think, because I'm not going to allow you to do to me what you do to Peter, because I'm gonna put hands on it. And so that's what I'm saying. What we need are people who are, and it goes back to the movies. We need people like yourself, like me, like Theo, who are invested in the characters to flesh out the stories, because a lot of this stuff makes no sense. Just like Kamoyo just said, it's illogical writing. It's what my boy used to say. It's the Deus Ex Machina. It's the idiot plot. You got to have people acting like an idiot to advance the plot, and that's what's happening with Marvel, with the MCU, which is, it's that's a mess. It's a complete mess, and it should have been able to build upon itself. It should be a forever moneymaker, but they have people who are in their own way, and they don't want to do what's necessary.
But you know what I notice now?
What?
It ain't just us no more, Mr. Smith. It ain't just the Rock With Me Nation. It ain't just fans of. It's the everyday, ordinary Mo that's like, the MCU is a mess. What are they doing over there? So it's like, okay, I told you a couple years ago it was a mess.
Rocking with them.
And everybody, don't. Now you see the mess in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How, to me, it's like that game we used to play in elementary school. You take like 4 or 5 mugs and put them out in the hallway, and then the teacher come out and tell them a story, and then go back in and tell everybody to come in one at a time and tell that story that the teacher told you. You get 5 different stories. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, so what do you expect to happen with millions of dollars in movies? And you can't even get them 5 people in the room to get on the same sheet about what you doing with this movie, with this franchise, with this IP. And then that's how you get that chaos. And then you got one man over here in the corner saying, I got it. Let me take it over here. Let me give it the Lion Kugler treatment, and y'all can enjoy it. You know what I mean? So like, I get it, but that don't make it right.
No, and it has to be people who are invested in the characters. And Phil said it, I know you said it. Why in the world was Carol Danvers the first Captain Marvel that what? She wasn't even the first female Captain Marvel.
Because the people who are supposed to read the comic books
fail to.
They don't. They just go, let's make it up as we go. There should not be no paternal relationship between anybody named Danvers or Rambo.
No.
That woman got parents.
Yeah.
She don't need to imprint onto some
Mhm.
Caucasian Air Force pilot.
No. And that was never Carol's MO in the comics anyway. Carol became an alcoholic.
She following behind Marvel.
Yeah.
At first, that's
First, yes.
yeah. And how you go from, I don't know, they retconned her a lot.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And they had the wrong actress. A lot of people don't like the actress, so now that kind of turned people off. So you have to the people have to be likable, and at least the character. If the actor or the actress doesn't have to be, but the character has to be. Carol Danvers is not a likable character in Marvel.
Well, check this. Now, and I know you of all people know, okay, about Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Carol Danvers was featured pretty prominently in the early issues.
Yes.
Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every time, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably got the book.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I saw Carol Danvers, she's in trouble.
Yeah.
She needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Yon-Rogg captured her again. Oh my goodness. Oh, we got to go get her before Yon-Rogg does something terrible. But they retcon her into an Air Force pilot, and she's this, she sped. She done went on missions with Logan and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, why wasn't she doing that when Yon-Rogg had her all hemmed up? She could have took care of that by herself. No.
Nope.
Did she forget she had them skills? Or
yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So this is what I say about retcon. Okay, you retcon this damsel in distress into a kick-ass femme fatale.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go back and read about her in 67, 68, 69 in Captain Marvel's book, and she's Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
That ain't the same person I read about her in the 60s. How she become, you know what I'm saying? So retcons don't require explanations?
Nope. If they did, then you'd have to explain Century. My head hurts.
They did. That everybody forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He always been around. Y'all just forgot.
When they introduced Century, I went into my Yosemite Sam. I was thinking, and my head hurts.
Shut up, you idiot.
I was like, are you serious with this dude right now? I mean, so a lot of this stuff that they do, again, you have the source material right there. And see, and I go back, I would love to see a Three the Hard Way type of a book with Luke Cage, Falcon, and T'Challa. Just a mini series.
They could have did that. They could have did that during Most Dangerous Man Alive.
Right. That's what they should have done.
Yeah. Say, didn't she give?
Yes. Marcus.
It did, but Marcus / Immortus.
Yes.
And she didn't know she was kidnapped.
And she got mad at the Avengers after she came back. Well, why did y'all let him do this?
You're the one left with him. How we know what was going on, Carol? You just left.
You were all in love. How are we supposed to tell you not to go and be in love with somebody?
See, go be in love with your son.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what's going on.
And see, that was very weird. That's one of the moments in comics that you go,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in Ultimates when they revealed to you that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, and the first thing came out of my mouth was, are they still brother and sister?
And why would you write that? So you have to be some kind of demented writer to write that, and an editor to let that get past you. Yeah, I believe it.
Or you weren't looking for it in the first place.
Right. So
And you
I
were
just
just like, yeah, that's why CB Saboski doesn't have a job anymore.
good for him. I mean us. But but the thing is you have to you have to get back to T'Challa. And to your point, he's a whole galactic emperor. We should have spacefaring storyline. And we should have not only in the comics, but in the movies. I would love to see Gladiator on the screen. I would love to see the Shi'ar Imperial Guard on the screen. I would love to see an accurate Super Scroll with some other scrolls. I would love to see these battles. I would love to see Star Wars type stories where T'Challa is involved. But we can't get that because the protagonist is the wrong skin tone.
Ain't got the complexion for the connection.
Right. And so that's the problem when you have a small mind. Because now it should have opened your eyes. 1.3 billion should have opened your eyes. That was worldwide. Okay? So now the world wants to see this, not just people in America. So now you could put this out there and you can build on that money. But if when we were playing spades in the military, man, we used to say scared man can't ever win.
That's right. That's right.
So if you scared and you trying to hold on like this, somebody gonna come and lap you, and you're gonna have to rise and fly.
Hey,
they gonna be at a blind 10.
Little side fact for you. There have been 11 Marvel movies that have made over $1 billion.
Okay.
Only 2 since Endgame. What happened? you had $9 billion movies in the last phase. What? And you just dropped off to 2?
Yeah.
What are you doing different? I can tell you.
Well, go ahead and tell them, brother.
How does the first phase of Marvel, the Infinity phase, differ from the multiverse phase? Okay. You heard Mr. Smith groan when I said the multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First, you were actually paying attention to canon during the first phase. Loosely, very loosely, but you were paying attention. Okay. Got in this other phase, and you just and didn't he announce it? We will no longer be consulting comic book experts.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The first evidence of that, Eternals.
Oh.
Okay. Nothing. Jack Kirby was rolling in his grave. I know he was.
He wanted to come up and slap both of them.
I'm like, is this what y'all think Jack Kirby was envisioning when he did Eternals?
He was envisioning New Gods. Can we please get there, please?
Boom!
Please.
That's what he was envisioning.
He
was doing New Gods for Marvel.
Yep.
That's all that was.
That's all that was.
All you had to do was follow the recipe. Oh, but no, we're going to hire this Artur director to do a superhero movie. All right, okay. Didn't make no money. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, you read Shang-Chi as a young man.
Still got him.
I read Shang-Chi as a young man. The The black and white deadly hands of Kung
Kung Fu. Come on.
Okay, was any of that
No.
captured in that movie?
No.
They were too worried about offending Asian people with tropes
Mm-hmm.
than making a good movie. Okay, and it could have been better.
It should have been
better if you would have read the comic books and moved accordingly.
Because,
Give them some MI6. Give me some Jack
Tar.
Give me some Lee Ko Wu.
Give me some Dr. Petrie.
Yeah, get Sir Dennis Nayland Smith. Put
Yes.
all of that in there. That's what made Master Kung Fu a good comic book. You know what I'm saying?
But you have to look at what Chinese cinema is doing. That's what they're doing. So how are you going to offend them if you're doing what they're doing?
Well, because a lot of people believe if you go back and look at your Master of Kung Fu comic books, and we know his original protagonist was his father, Fu Manchu.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Fu Manchu, he looks so damn offensive.
Yeah, but you don't have to do. But you don't have to do that.
And they did it. And they did it. But they didn't have to go Mandarin.
Right. You don't have to do that. But you can still keep the basis of that storyline where he was believing that his father was right and that he needed to go assassinate this person.
Or Dennis Nayland Smith. Yeah.
Right. So then when he finds out that his father was evil, then he turns on his father.
Right.
That's the formula.
Which would have made a way better story.
Lee Ko Wu.
And I would have rather seen him fight Midnight than the Death Dealer or whatever.
Yes.
Whoever that dude was anyway.
He was the guy from what is the they taught themselves martial arts. They're on YouTube. And one of the guys was just in another movie I just watched because they're brothers, Brian and Andy Lee, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
And so they taught the Kung Fu Martial Arts Club or something like that that they have, and so they do these little skits on YouTube. And so they had him play Death Dealer, but again, introducing Midnight would require you to introduce a black character.
That'd be the one time they'd be trying to keep that mask on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Marvel, somebody always got to. Why are you taking off your mask? You in your uniform. You ain't supposed to be taking off your mask right now. You know, secret identities are not a thing in the MCU apparently because everybody takes.
But Manai would have been a much better antagonist because of his skill set. Because he disappears into shadows.
Right. Right.
So he can come in and out of shadows. That would have been a harder fight. And they made Shang-Chi, he was too Americanized.
Way too Americanized. When I think of Shang-Chi,
I think Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yeah, warrior, like kind of like David Carradine, just kind of roaming around. And I'm in America, but I ain't of America. You know what I'm saying? So and that, yeah, and he kind of, you know, he slowly acclimated himself to Western culture because up until the point he got turned loose to go kill Sir Dennis Nayland Smith, he was in a temple.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's the type of things that you can, and that's what I was telling Theo about in with my Manai, because Manai came from Africa.
Right.
People don't. They have no idea who we make. A lot of people may not even know who we're talking about. Midnight, who became Midnight's son in Silver Surfer. Whole nother story. But Manai,
the Legion of the Unliving.
Right. But Manai was captured by Fu Manchu when he invaded this African village.
Right.
And so he took him in, and he raised him. So that African village could have been. In my universe, I made it a neighboring state to Wakanda. So that's how. But I had T'Chaka save him and bring him to Wakanda. Hold on. So, but you would have a dynamic because if you have Manai from Africa, that could give you a tie-in to Wakanda. That could give you a tie-in to the Black Panther movies with Shang-Chi.
Right.
You could have these things interconnected, but because you were too small-minded and you don't want to do what's right by the character of T'Challa, now you're scrambling, trying to fit square pegs into round holes. And you didn't have to do that. All you had to do was look at the connectivity in the source material and say, hey, I could make this work by connecting this, and then I can bring this story back. Manai could have been somebody's ambassador's son or something.
Yeah.
And you could bring these groups together. You could have a Shang-Chi versus T'Challa or something like. You could have these storylines that you could interconnect, but you don't want to promote your best character that got you your $1.3 billion, and you thought it was okay to push a mad frail, as they would say, young lady as Shuri. Nobody is buying that she's going to beat anybody. I'm sorry. Now, if you wanted to put Jade Cargill or somebody like that as Shuri, listen, I'm you know what? Forget y'all. I would have had to go see Wakanda for never. I would have to see.
I rock with a Jade Cargill, Shuri. But let me ask you this though. Okay. Now, should we feel some kind of way because people who are Shuri fans are experiencing what we were experiencing a few years ago?
This is what we should be doing.
Got mine. Got mine.
Because we told you.
Unbothered.
We told you what the lick read. We told you. Now, if you didn't want to understand and you kept telling us, oh, forget it. Shuri's the Black Panther. She's the Black Panther in the comic books. No, she's not. She was for like a split second.
Hot second.
And now she's the griot. You know what they call the AI in the movie? You don't know that? No, you don't know because you never picked up a comic book in your life.
That part. Okay. And it's like, what? It's the AI? Why?
Why?
Of all the things you could have named it. The griot is what you wanted it to be. Okay. All right. So when you actually have a griot in your universe,
exactly,
have a griot in your universe, how you gonna explain that?
And see, that's if you wanted to do something, instead of making Letitia Wright Black Panther, they could have made her the griot. Because then it doesn't matter because her power set are so vast, it doesn't matter how small she is.
Right.
And then you should have had someone take over the role of T'Challa, but you should have waited. Nobody told you to make that movie as fast as you did. The reason why you did, again, it goes back to money. Because you made 1.3 billion and you thought you were going to make another billion off of that franchise, but we told you weren't.
They didn't build off of the original story either.
They did not.
Into something else, and it isn't even connected to the larger universe.
And that's the problem with how Coogler moves, because he's good. He's like Bendis. He's good with his own thing. Brian Michael Bendis is a good writer with his own creation. AKA Goldfish was one of the first things he did. It was black and white. It was a crime noir. Okay. It was one of the first things he did. That's a pretty good read. Once he got to Marvel and started messing up Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Avengers, and everything else because they were already established characters.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So that's the same way with Coogler. He's okay. Sinners and all this other stuff that he, Fruitvale Station, all of this other stuff that's his. Okay, good. Go for it, brother. Make your money. Don't come over here touching these IPs because you don't know what you're doing, because you don't have the connectivity to these characters, and you don't care about these characters. You just care about what your vision is, and you're imprinting your vision onto something that doesn't fit. Oakland is not Wakanda. Wakanda is not Oakland. I'm hate to burst the bubble.
A Coogler is Oakland.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't make it dominate everything. I wouldn't make it so. I don't know. If you could be in Kansas City, if you know what I'm saying. If I was telling the story, I would, but I wouldn't go out of my way to make sure, this Kansas City. You know what?
You're right.
Kansas City people, let it happen
naturally, organically.
Yeah, but, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, and if you like that, you could put your town down without having to put your town down. Spike Lee does it for Brooklyn all the time. You know what I'm saying? So he makes sure it's shot someplace where Brooklynites are recognized. He mentions things about Brooklyn that people in Brooklyn would identify with. That's all you have to do. You don't have to, this project. Talk about East 14th Street. Talk about Lake Merritt. You know what I'm saying? People will know it's the Bay if you add them little landmarks and things that's in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? So, Castlemont High School, you know what I'm saying? That those are kind of things. You put that in there, then that will make that much more meaningful instead of just saying Oakland. Because I got tons of relatives in Oakland, man. I mean, I used to live in the Bay Area for a while. But I mean, okay, why we gotta, I get represent your city. But
why overdo
it? Represent that IP first.
And see, that's what James Gunn did with Superman. He went and filmed in Cleveland, and one of the scenes where Superman is flying up with Lois, I think it was near the end of the movie. That's in an arcade that's downtown Cleveland, and everybody from Cleveland knows that.
Right.
If you, and I guess they saw him shooting down there, whatever, and there are certain landmarks that when you see the movie, and that's the reason why he did that is because, of course, Superman was created by Clevelanders, so he wanted to pay homage to Cleveland. So he put that in the movie, but he didn't go overboard and do that. He just showed it so that if you were from that area, you would know it, and you would say, oh yeah, I know, I've been. So that's how you do it. You don't beat people over the head with it. And so what we need for Marvel to do is they need to do a reboot is what they need to do.
That's what they were supposed to be doing.
But they don't want to.
Until Coogler came out and said, ha, I'm doing mine after the reboot.
Right. And see, that's the problem. When you got somebody going mavericky like Sarah Palin. I know you remember that.
Yeah.
Going,
I met her. I met her once.
I mean, but you got Coogler doing his own thing. He like James Brown. I think it's my time. I do my thing. No.
But you do your thing all the time.
Right. And it's not working. How is that working out for you, dude? It's not. So how about you play within the team framework? You have a board, a vision board. You put it up there and you say, okay, I want this movie to do this, do this, and we're going to interconnect. They're going to intersect here. But it has to make sense. It can't make dollars if it don't make sense.
He knows that. Well, but
he ought to.
But will he apply the lessons
that
he learned? You know what I'm saying? When your second movie came up short. You know what I mean? Because if I make a movie and my sequel ain't that good, usually the third one ain't that good either. You know what I'm saying? Just case in point, Superman. Them movies got progressively worse.
Worse. Oh my God. Okay. Superman 3 was horrible.
Batman, them movies got progressive.
Oh, they got real bad.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't doing, but and I contribute that to you switch directors after
Yes.
two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Schumacher took over.
No, that was horrible.
And it's like, okay, that was the introduction of Robin.
Yeah, he wanted to go back to that campy 1960s Batman and with that Art Deco and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and that was not what people wanted to see. They wanted to see the Tim Burton, the gritty, the noir Batman. Because when I saw Batman in '89, man, I was blown away. That's still my favorite Batman.
I still walked out of the theater thinking, I can't believe I just saw Mr. Mom as Batman.
As Batman. Yep.
You know what? Like, that's Mr. Mom. That's multiplicity. That's Johnny
Dangerously. Yep.
Yeah. He's Batman now. Okay.
Oh, Johnny's getting late again.
Yeah. yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies he ever did. But see, that's what you have to do. You have to find the process, the creative process that works, and you have to go with that. You can't go off on a tangent thinking that your idea is the next greatest hotness, especially when you try that and it fails spectacularly, as Black Panther 2 did. It did not, and they've told you that because that's why they're changing out the leads. They would not change out the leads if it had been successful. They would bring her right back. So they're telling you in your face in real time, that movie didn't do as well as we wanted it to. So we're going to play with this a little bit. We're going to give you a male lead, but it's not going to be T'Challa, but it's going to be T'Challa.
What? And the timeline's off.
The
timeline's off. When that boy would not be grown in 2028.
No, and he's shorter than I am.
He's standing eye to eye with Letitia Wright, and she's 5'5".
But they tell you when you look him up, he's 5'9". How?
I can put whatever I want on IMDb. If I want to put that in the Internet Movie Database that I'm 6'2", I can do that. You know what I'm saying? You just have to see me out on,
right.
Like, he ain't 6'2", but if you ever see David Johnson up close, it's gonna be obvious he's not 5'9".
And so you have this, and I've never seen him in anything because I don't really care, and I'm not trying to rag on the guy or anything like that. He's just not who T'Challa should be. Aldous Hodge, Damson Idris. There's a few people who I can think off the top of my head who could play that role. He would not be the first one to come to mind. Because, like I said, I don't even know who the guy is.
Well, I've seen him he was in the last Alien movie, Alien Romulus.
I didn't see that one.
He was the artificial being in that movie.
Okay, I gotta go watch that, man.
And he was in The Long Walk, which is an adaptation of a Stephen King novel. And I liked it. And everybody say it was good because of him, but I'm just like, nah, it was good because of the premise of that movie and the way they played it. And anybody who read The Long Walk knows, okay, they changed a little bit of things, like towards the end, they changed how it ended, but it was a decent adaptation of a Stephen King novel. Basically, the premise is it's a post-war society. And the nation is trying to get back on their feet. And the way they get back on their feet is they pick one young man from every state in the union. And they put him on this little stretch of road, and they walk. And they have to maintain a certain pace while they're walking. If they slow down, they get a warning. If they slow down a second time, they get a second warning. If they slow down, now if you walk straight, I think for like 30 minutes, it'll wipe out your warning. But If you get that third warning, you get what they call punching your ticket, aka a bullet to the brain.
Delete it.
And whoever's the last person left alive is the person who wins, and they can have anything they want. So things that come into play are like, what happens when I gotta do number 2?
Right.
So that gets addressed in the movie, and I'm like, huh. I don't know if I could participate in it. I can't stop and do number 2, or and not be stinky. Yeah, nah, I'm not participating.
You got to be stinky.
Yeah, hey, and that's what one dude did. They was like, "This is your first warning," and he had a long one. They like, "This is your second warning." They like, "Get up, man, get up!" And they clack, they drawing down on him. He get up, and he didn't pitch nothing on. And then later on in the movie, they like, "Can you walk farther back, man? Because you smell." So yeah, no long walk for me. No. But those are the movies I've seen him in. My only caveat is he's never had a leading role. He's never been a lead, at least if that I know of. Right. He's always been the third guy or the fourth guy or the second. He's never been starring David Johnson that I've seen. If there is some stuff out there, Rock With Me Nation, Kamoyo, hit me up and let me know if he's been in something where it was him as the lead. But I've never seen him as the lead in anything. So that could be a good thing. That could be a very, 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 very bad thing.
Well, it's a good thing for them because it goes back to what I said. They hired him because of money. He's not going to cost that much.
Right. And he ain't nobody.
Right. And so that's the problem when you're cutting corners and you're skimping and scrimping, because now I have to have a reason to come see your movie. He doesn't give me a reason. First of all, Coogler is the reason I don't want to see it. He's the reason I'm not going to see it. So right. you have to supersede that, and the way for you to supersede that for me is Aldous Hodge. Okay, so or somebody of that ilk,
right?
Right. But if you're not going to do that, then I'm standing. That gets my attention. I'm not saying I'm going to go see it, but that will get my attention. And you're saying you're recasting T'Challa. But as long as Ryan Coogler is attached to stuff, I'm kind of on this side. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I can't rock what you do.
Anything but Black Panther.
Yeah, you can go do.
I'm with you on anything but Black Panther.
You know what he could do? He could go do a Great Lakes Avengers movie. Big Bertha, Mr. Immortal, Doorman, Dinosaur. Yeah, all go do that.
Nobody will be mad if you mess that up.
Nobody will go see it.
You mess up the Great Lakes Avengers, we like,
okay, whatever.
Probably an improvement.
Yeah.
Because I think they had Mr. Immortal on She-Hulk.
Yes, they did. Complete waste.
See, and that's what I'm saying. And that's the kind of thing that happens when you say, I'm just going to cherry pick and play fast and loose with the canon. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You went a little fast and loose. If you're going to go fast and loose, here's my advice. Disney, Marvel Studios, go fast and loose with a character that it will not have dire consequences with if you fail. Case in point, 1998. Blade. Back in 1998, we did not regard Blade like we regard Blade today.
Nope.
When Blade first came out, Blade didn't look like how he looks.
No, he did not.
Okay, he had a big ass fro, goggles, a leather jacket and them poofy pants that you wear in the jungle.
Yep.
And
some boot.
And he was throwing
wooden stakes. Yep.
Throwing wooden stakes at vampires.
Yep.
How exciting would that have been as a movie? Somebody said, nah, that ain't gonna work.
Nope.
And it was already in the process of tweaking and freaking Blade anyway, because I got the comic books, and that's when they decided, hey, let's make Blade part vampire. Because originally
he was
not.
Nope.
The only power Blade had was he was immune to the bite of a vampire.
Yep.
That's it. He was just a regular old dude throwing wooden stakes that was immune to the bite of a vampire. That sounds boring. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That sounds boring.
What I liked was when they did the Blade comic, and I have it downstairs, when they had him, they took a cue from Highlander, and he could sense vampire. Remember that?
Right.
I love that. I was like, y'all you doing the Highlander, because I like Highlander. I said, you guys doing the Highlander. You got that from Highlander. Why don't you just,
And his visual,
was nice.
Came from Spider-Man TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had Spider-Man, they had Blade on Spider-Man, and that's the first time I had ever heard about a Whistler.
Yeah.
I ain't heard nothing about
that. I had never heard of Whistler.
That Spider-Man cartoon. And then they had Malcolm McDowell doing the voice of Whistler. So imagine everyone's surprised when Whistler's like, hey, I catch you fuckers at a bad time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a different Whistler.
Yeah.
That's not the Whistler I saw.
No.
So sometimes a retcon can be a good thing if you don't do overall damage to the canon.
Right.
And Blade was wide open for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nobody was mad at it because it improved the character and inadvertently saved Marvel.
It sure did, because they were going bankrupt.
They were selling their characters
on different
companies to try to make a buck. Okay. Yeah. And Blade changed all of that.
And that led to the X-Men. You wouldn't have the X-Men movie franchise without Blade. Because at that time, Batman, we were talking about Batman earlier, had killed the whole superhero genre because it was so bad. Jerry, who was that? That was George Clooney and
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr.
Alicia Silverstone.
And Uma Thurman was Poison Ivy.
Please.
And they had a Bane, and all he said was Bane.
Yeah, that was. And everybody thought Schwarzenegger was going to play Bane, but he wanted to play Mr. Freeze. Like, man, you would have been better off as Bane. Sorry.
Yeah, but, that terrible Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, it was. But Blade saved all of that, and now they didn't even want to bring him back. They didn't want to bring Wesley Snipes back as Blade until Ryan Reynolds went to bat for him.
Mm.
And that's the problem. And speaking of Blade, when are we getting that movie? Oh, never mind. We're not getting that movie.
If Mahershala Ali got tired of waiting, I'm tired of waiting too.
Wait, we're not getting that movie.
Lead actor tired of waiting?
Oh, yeah, we don't get it.
Hey, y'all, hit the likes if y'all digging what a brother Shelton, Mr. Ray Smith in here dropping his knowledge and giving us his opinion about the state of things in the Marvel universe right now. Y'all better soak it up while you can soak it up, because I'm gonna tell you right now, me, I ain't gonna be out here like that. Because we done how much? What else do I need to say that hasn't been said? What else do I need to do that hasn't been done? I voiced my opinion loudly. I boycotted. I told Muggs I'm boycotting. And you know what I'm saying? And everybody was just like, how would you boycott? I can't tell you how many people lost their mind and went off and came at me because I said I was boycotting that. Now, you see why.
Yeah.
Next time, just listen and do. Like, that's what I tell my kids. When I got daddy, why is that? Just listen and do.
Yeah.
Everything else will come out in the wash. All you have to do is listen
And do.
That's it. And they didn't want to listen, so of course they're not gonna do. You know what I mean? So it's like
we tried to save you the heartache that you're experiencing. All of you Shuri fans, we tried to save you the heartache that you're experiencing right now by telling you this is the wrong move. But you, in your infinite wisdom, and yes, Sheldon, that's sarcasm. In your infinite wisdom, decided to tell us to shut up and dribble. You know,
basically.
But and we kept telling you, okay, this is not going to end well for you. Nope. But now, as Malcolm X said, the chickens have come home to roost. And now you're in your feels, you're in your feelings, and you don't know how to respond because on one hand, you want to respond as we did, but then now you're validating how we were talking to you. So you don't want to do that, but you know it's the right thing to do. So now you're over here trying to decide how to move when we showed you how to move. We showed you what to do.
That part. That part right there. I love to be able to be around long enough for a person to see the folly of their ways.
Yeah.
And see how they move and respond going forward.
Yes.
You see what it is. I told you what it is. You didn't believe me, but now you see it for yourself.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of time, like during the crack epidemic, all people on the white side had to say was, that's a shame. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. But then when your kids start smoking crack, when your kids start stealing your TV, when your kids start disappearing for 3 and 4 days, oh my God, it's an epidemic. You should have did something about it
beforehand,
or it got to your backyard. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and that's what's going on with this T'Challa thing. It's in the Shuri fans' backyard now, and now they want to cry foul because your character is getting done with no Vaseline.
No Vaseline.
And now you want to be like, oh, this is no. See, when people say there's injustice, step up and correct it. Don't sit back looking like, oh, you just mad because, oh, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Oh, you should just get over it. Oh, the people in charge own the IP and they control the creative direction. Tell that to the Zack Snyder Justice League crew. Okay, that they control the destiny, that they control the narrative. Okay, y'all want to lose some more money? I mean, it ain't a threat. It's a promise. Okay?
It's a promise.
If you want to lose more money, fine. Go ahead and do what you want to do. Ain't nobody gonna be. I ain't gonna be making no. I see what they doing now videos. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still support my character, but I ain't gonna be out here trying to tell nobody and be the Black Panther police because I did that for you and you spit in my face. So now I'm like, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have fun being on your own.
Well, see, the problem I have is if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And so to your point, it was just so funny because I was thinking about this when I was at work and I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and you pretty much said it. These folks were told to bend over, grab their ankles, and spell run. Think about it. How do you spell run? and they did it. And now they're crying.
Yeah.
But we told you. We told you what was going to happen. We told you don't go down that street because the boogeyman is down there and he's looking to do things to you. You said, no, he's not going to do anything to me because he likes me. Yeah, he like you, and he's going to really like you in a minute if you go down the street. And so you did, and now you're running back home saying that you were violated. We told you that was going to happen.
Period. Point blank. Okay. And that's why, and I feel so exonerated towards all them people that was misogynoir and misogynist and oh, you hate women and you hate black women and all of that foul crap. And it's like it wasn't even about that. Okay.
Nope.
If you knew the history of the character, you'd be pissed off too. You know what I'm saying? If you knew how the story went, you'd be mad. That's like trying to tell the story of Aladdin and taking a damn lamp out of the story. Not gonna go anywhere.
Or the genie.
You're not gonna be able to effectively tell that story, and they still trying to tell Aladdin's story without the lamp.
Oh, how about this?
That's what they doing right now.
That's a good point, Paul Martin. But how about this? That's like telling the story of Aladdin without Aladdin.
Even more so. That part. You know what I'm saying? There are some things you just can't take out of a story.
No.
What you gonna tell? What you gonna tell the story of Goldilocks? You can't tell that story without the three bears and didn't nobody come in their house. They just went, took a walk, the porridge cooled off, they came back, ate it, the end. You know what I mean? That's not how that story went.
The seven dwarves.
She just went out in the woods. She ate an apple and died. The end. That you gotta have certain components in a story, and they taking the most important component out. And are still attempting to tell the story.
They're trying to spoon feed you.
Okay, all right. That's
exactly. And they're trying to spoon feed you something, and you're like a kid that you know when you're a kid and they're trying to feed you some peas and you're doing this. That's what we're doing. But a lot of these folks are taking it in, and now they're finding out we didn't like the peas. Well, we tried to tell you it was nasty. But you have to experience it for yourself.
I'm out here for likes and subs and all of that. No. Every chance I get, I tell you I'm out here trying to tell you the truth. Every chance I get, I tell people that, and I'm like, why are y'all still questioning the truth?
And that's the part is the darndest thing, and that's what drew me to you and to Theo, because you guys are telling the truth. And so when you sent me and said, hey, I hope you can make it, I was like, oh man, I'm making sure I can make it, to this one. Yeah, because it's my brother. Yeah, I'm coming for real. Anytime you guys want me to pull up, I'm pulling up, because we're trying to we're telling the truth. It's up to you to either digest it or not. We can't force you to do anything. We can't force you to consume the truth. If you want to be blindsided and led astray, that's on you. All we can do is give you what we know to be the truth, stand on the truth, and then say, this is what it should be. This is what they're doing, and this is where they're wrong. And now you have an opportunity to course correct, because then you can join the movement, because the more people that join the movement, the more that hurts their bottom line. And now they're going to course correct, a la what they did with Spider-Man and the Clone.
Period.
It's proven. It's a proven strategy. It's not new. But because you're so locked in to having to be right, like you said, a fight to be right, you have to be right. You can't be wrong. Now you have to prove yourself to be right, but you steadily going down the wrong trail, still being wrong. It's like you got GPS in your car and it's telling you at the next light, take a U-turn. And I'm gonna get to Alaska this way. Dummy, you going to New York.
Yeah. and technically it's only one way to Alaska by road.
and you're on the wrong one.
Yeah.
You're on I-95, which is north and south. You ain't getting nowhere near there.
95 going the other way. Now, here is a question I've wanted to ask, because you made me think about it.
Mm.
Okay. It's the artist, it's the writer, it's the, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
As far as a retcon goes.
Mm-hmm.
if we don't like the retcon or we don't like the change, do you agree that we as consumers have the right to say to writers, to artists, to editors, to directors, to any creative mind, okay, I see what you're doing over there, and that might be your creative vision, but it does not line up with what that character is. Because, case in point, there's been a lot of retconning of T'Challa's story. And a lot of it, and what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of retcon we as fans have accepted.
Yeah.
Because it fit in. Case in point, we ain't never seen Challenge Day. We've seen the ceremony through which T'Challa has to go through to be accepted by Bast.
Right.
Okay, you got to defeat 10 warriors. You got to go up there on that mountain and get that heart-shaped herb.
Yep.
You got to take that heart-shaped herb. Ain't nobody got to apply it. That's how it was originally. But then we retconned it in Panther's Prey. It has to be applied. Okay, now we ain't gonna miss too much about eating it or applying it, are we? Nah. But back to Challenge Day, we didn't see Challenge Day till Hutland.
Yep.
In any comic.
No. Nope.
Because that was a concept he came up with.
Yep.
And it didn't destroy anything that was already there.
All right.
Until Shuri.
Until Shuri.
You know what I'm saying? So there are some that we've accepted gladly, and there are some we've accepted with an asterisk. But we've had to accept them. So for these negative ones, I'm asking you, do we accept or do we rail against it?
We got to rail against them because we got to let them know your voice needs to be heard. Because if you don't say what is wrong, because you've been invested in the character, like myself, nearly 6 decades, like 6 decades of investing in characters, and so when I see something that's out of character for a particular character, then I wrote to Avengers West Coast back in the day, in the 90s. And I was like, and I wrote to them and I said, you don't have any people of color in relationships. No heroes. At that time, you had not one hero that had another relationship with a person of color. And that was a problem. And they poo-pooed it, but it's still stuck with me because they didn't see the value in showing that. The only one that they had really was Robbie Robertson. And how often did you see his wife? Because I don't even remember ever seeing her. Maybe once.
During the Tombstone thing.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so when I'm after Monica Lynn and T'Challa went and she was messing with Kevin Troop, man, come on. Anyway, whatever. So
I didn't like that either.
I didn't either. I mean, what are you doing with this anyway?
You from Atlanta? You from Atlanta? And you dating a white dude?
That's
okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, let's get on that. But my point was you didn't have that, and so when you had now what they were doing, I mean, on a regular basis, you didn't have a regular girlfriend that was recurring. See, at first you had Falcon,
right,
with Leela. Right. You had Luke Cage with Claire Temple,
right.
And then for whatever reason, they had Claire and Luke break up, and so he was dating all these other. He was dating a fashion model, Joy, I believe was her name.
I was just reading the other day. It was somebody. She had like a name like Honey or
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
She's forgettable, but because she was
very.
She was not a good. She was not characterized correctly for him. But the point was, you never saw Luke Cage with anybody outside of his race.
Never.
Until Brian Michael Bendis decided he wanted to do that. And so what I was trying to get them to see that we see value in, and it's not like Theo said, you love who you love. I have nothing against interracial marriage. I could care less. You love who you love. But at some point, give me what you're giving everybody else. And you saw no value in doing that. And so we need stronger voices. And to your point, it's a long way around, but to your point, we need to start calling out things that we don't like, because the LGBTQ community, if they want something changed, they stand on tables and they force change. And then you see people capitulate. Unfortunately, we're the last ones that they'll listen to. But the more of us that do it, the more that they'll have to listen. And that's why it bothers me when I see, coming back full circle before we close this out, that's why it bothers me when I see people telling us to let it go. No, you should be on our side, because at some point it's going to be you. Oh, yeah. If life is going to happen if you live long enough.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in this position, and then you're going to have someone younger telling you to let it go, and then you're going to be thinking, man, that old dude told me that. That OG told me that a long time ago, and I didn't listen, and here it is. And so what we're trying to do is stop you from, that's what wise people try to do, who are not selfish. We try to stop you from having to go through the same things we did, the fights that we fought for you to achieve what the level of success that you can have. We want it to be better, a smoother road for you. But you want to take the long way around and go through the ups and downs that you don't have to. So just to your point, just listen. All you gotta do is listen. But you don't want to. So hey, hard head make for a soft behind, my mama used to say.
The quote that I am reminded of, and I think that probably stands most loudly for me in this particular instance, would be a quote by Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
And he said, minds will not be the brain that changes the world.
Mm-hmm.
But my words will be the words that spark the brain that changes the world.
Right.
And I believe that it won't be me, but trust you me, it's gonna be somebody saying, I'm doing this for Theo. I'm doing this for Real. I'm doing this for Ray Smith. It's gonna be somebody out there, because folks, they ain't as thick as they was in 2020. We still got a little chipping to do, but they ain't as thick, and it's easier to get through to them now. And as long as they understand, yours ain't safe neither.
Right. And my thing is this: history has never been made by people who let things go. You will never achieve anything if you quit. The old saying is, winners never quit and quitters never win. That applies. So if you are me, there was this when I was in college, and there was this thing that stuck with me. It said that there are people who make things happen, there are people who watch things happen, and then there are those who ask, what just happened? And the whole point was, which one are you? And so I want to be that sparked my mind to be the type of person who make things happen. I don't want to watch things happen, and I don't want to come after the fact and say, what just happened? So those are the type of minds that we need in the movement, and it doesn't take a whole lot, but it does take people with a united front and who says, you know what, this is my line of demarcation. No further.
Yeah.
And so we've had enough. We've had enough of how you treated our people. And in the images, the reason why we're having so much trouble around the world with people disrespecting Black people is the images that they portray on the screen. And people have to understand that. That's how they see you. They see you as power. They see you as empire. All of these as ghosts, as all of these negative stereotypes, that's how they see you when you come over there or when they come here and see you. They don't see you as T'Challa. And that's how because you don't see yourself as that. You've let somebody brainwash you into thinking that you can't be that and you're not that. So stop doing that. So that's all I got.
Huh. Deep words from a deep man. Mr. Ray Smith, I appreciate you sliding in.
I appreciate you, brother.
For the Rock With Me Nation today, man. This was really needed. I needed this in more ways than one. And I appreciate the input, and I am pretty sure I'm more than certain that the Rock With Me Nation appreciated the input, because like I told you before we came on, I'm like, dang, they already in the room. Well, we pulled up. So I like that, because that means they want to hear what I have to say. And they definitely wanted to hear what you had to say. So thank you, brother, for pulling up today.
Anytime, brother, anytime.
As always, pleasure and a privilege, man. I'm, like I said, I learned some stuff today.
Okay.
I always learn some stuff when I chop it up with you, Ray. Always.
All right, my brother.
Ever learning, ever open to learning.
Me too, brother. Me too.
All right. Rock With Me Nation. I appreciate you rocking with me. Pun intended. I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until then, y'all be good. Be good to each other. Peace.